Hey guys, I am feeling many emotions right now, and uh, as of March 14th, I learned that the regularization program, also known as the RNE, this was a temporary residency program for people who wanted to live in Mexico, and they didn't have to provide financial solvency. Um, this was a program that was introduced, I think, back in 2021, and it was introduced because there were people who were in Mexico during COVID and they got stuck, and so this program allowed them to get residency since they couldn't leave. And they figured, we always knew this program was going to be temporary. And for some reason in 2024, there was a major push for people to get to Mexico by 2024. And it was like people who had already been in Mexico and have a stamp or FMM showing that they had been in Mexico. I think it was from between 2019 to 2022, the end of 2022. And if they got to Mexico by 2024, then in 2025, they can apply for a 4-year residency while in Mexico and not have to show solvency. And it was just so much a financial solvency, and it was just so much easier to do it that way. Well, that was my plan because, let me back it up. In order to qualify, you had to your visa, your visitor's visa, had to expire, right? So I had to wait until my visitor's visa expired, and the cost to do all this was up to $1,700. So what I did when I first came to Mexico, I didn't rush it. I asked for the 6 months. I got the 6 months, and I was using that time to save up the money so that by the time it expires, I can go ahead and pay for the regularization program. Now, again, we knew it was going to expire, but we thought we would have at least until the end of this year. Well, as of March 14th, I learned that the program has ended. So that changes everything, and it's disappointing. And I have to admit, when I first found out, I was very upset. I didn't cry though, and I didn't have a tantrum or anything like that. Everyone or anyone that knows me know that I have ADHD, and I found out about that many, many years later. I was an adult who found out, like in my 50s, found out that I had been suffering with ADHD all my life. I say all that to say this, that unmedicated, untreated, the old me would have cried, I would have pulled a tantrum, I would have felt despair, I would have went into some type of depression. So, the meds are working. So I didn't go there. It's like I sat there for a moment and I felt like, wow, it's over. Like, what do? I love my apartment. I love my community, and and the price. I mean, where else am I gonna get an apartment, a whole 1-bedroom apartment that I love in an area that I feel comfortable for $326 a month, all utilities included? Where else am I gonna do that? So that was a little disappointing for me. It was a lot. And I had all these plans. My plan was to be here and travel all over the world, just experience, everywhere. But I was going to wait until after I got my residency. So now by May 23rd, I have to be out of Mexico. So then, I'm sharing this with you because this is my vlog, and the idea was to share my experiences with you so that you can learn from them and hopefully know how to pivot or work through any issues that may arise simply because you remember what I went through. You know, that's my hope. And then it's also because I do really enjoy having you guys to talk to. Sometimes it's not like that for me. I happen to be that friend who tends to be a pretty good listener, and I give, encouragement and advice, and so a lot of people call me, and or I'll call them to discuss, and before my friends allow me to discuss what I'm going through, they're telling me about them. So I think it's kind of good to have this outlet to get it out instead of me talking to myself in my mind about what I'm going through. See, that's that ADHD. You see how I did that? All right, so let me see. I got notes to keep me focused. All right, so I discussed the program. So how am I searching for the other country? All right, so I know, well, let me back up. I remember when I first got to Mexico and I was so happy. And I remember, Stephanie Perry had posted something about her video was on people who have to, if you have to stay in the United States or you choose to stay in the United States, let's talk about your game plan. How are you going to survive in the U.S.? And I had posted in the comments, basically that I moved to Mexico, and I'm grateful that I had met her because she inspired me. She put a fire under me that I didn't know existed. Like I didn't know that there was, that we were moving out to other countries. I didn't know Sisters was doing that, and so that got me started. And so in that post, well, in my comment, I said what I said, and so many people responded to my comment. But one person said, what would you do if Mexico puts you out? What you gonna do if Mexico puts you out, right? And that just never really even occurred to me that Mexico would put me out. But I told her, as long as I have my health and my passport, I'll just go to another country. So it's interesting how this is happening, and I'm glad that I was able to remind myself that this is not the end. There are other countries, and there were plenty of other countries that were on your radar. So I said that's my segue into how am I searching for another country. I'm doing the same research like I did for when I found San Miguel. The only difference, I have decided that I'm not going to do a relocation tour unless I can find something reasonably affordable. Many of them at this point, I'm on a budget, I'm on a fixed income, and many of them at this point are very expensive, and you're only talking a week to 2 weeks. I would much prefer to pay for an Airbnb for a month, get on Facebook and look up different Facebook groups for that particular country and connect with people who are already living there and start communicating with them for a little while, and that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use YouTube like I did in the past just to see what people's feelings are on these different countries. I've already narrowed down a certain amount of locations. I know that I wanted to be a Spanish-speaking country because I seriously want to continue my Spanish learning. This time I think I want to be near a beach, and I certainly want to be in a country where there's more Black people. So I'm thinking, as I've been looking, Costa Rica has been catching my attention. And there's a certain area in Costa Rica where it's like everybody's Black, and I'm curious about that area. I like that Costa Rica has a really good pensionado program for retirees. You only have to show $1,000 a month in forever income in a form of Social Security or pension or annuity, something like that. So it's fairly simple to become a resident there. I like that because I don't want to keep traveling without having a residency. Although I have the U.S. as my home, I want a second home. So yeah, so that program seems to be good. So yeah, that seems like a great place. I was also looking at Ghana because a lot of people are going to Ghana, and I'm hearing some really good things. I'm just not ready to go that far. I want to go to Ghana to visit first, but that's after I get stable someplace. Now, like I said, I'm going through this process now, right? This just happened to me. I have to think it all through now and figure out, well, where you gonna go next? What you gonna do next? I did do something. I decided to go ahead and order my DNA, my ancestry, get some ancestry results. I want to find out where my people are from. So I did order that on Ancestry.com, and I did that today because I'm curious. I want to know what countries in Africa my ancestors are from. I would like to know if any of my ancestors are from Mexico or other parts of North America or other parts of the world. So I'm going to have that come through. The reason I want that, because that might have something to do with like citizenship. Like for instance, when I go to Africa, I believe I can get citizenship in Ghana if I can prove that my ancestors are from Ghana. So, so I went on and I ordered that. So I should have the kit in the next 2 weeks. Then I give them the sample, send it back out, I guess. I guess that's how it works. And then they'll ship it back to me. So this could take a couple months before I leave Mexico. It could take a couple of months to get the results. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's something, that's also on the plan. And let's see, what else I wanted to talk about. So, and I wanted to talk about why leaving Mexico hurts. Because I love my apartment. I like the location. The community was wonderful. We have a beautiful Black expat community out here. This country is so, like, anyone who's creative or artistic, it's very inspiring here. Yeah, it's a wonderful place, but I'm sure I will find somewhere else that I'm going to love too, maybe even more. Fortunately, I am a personable person, so I will get to know people, and it'll be fine. Let's see, why am I did consider Panama. I was considering Panama, but I decided to rule Panama out. And the reason I ruled Panama out, like I said, community is very important to me. And because I'm searching for a new country, of course, I am on there on YouTube looking at other creators and hearing what they have to say about the countries they're living in. And I'm following creators, of course, that are 60 and up, because I'm curious to know what it would be like for me to go to that country by myself and live there, And there's one in particular that's the mouthpiece, seems like, for the women over 60 in Panama, and she says some things that I really didn't like. It was very troubling to me. And I want to speak to it real quick in the event that somebody else saw it and got discouraged. I don't like creators who do that. I don't like creators who discourage people. I don't like the ones that say things like, people in the comments were saying, my Social Security is $1,000 a month. Could I get an apartment or could I live in Panama on $1,000 a month. And her responses are so rude. It's like, figure it out. Do your budget. You need to come with a little bit more money. Like, she got that kind of an attitude. Or she said, oh, this is what really upset me. She said, let's face it, some of you are not going to be able to get out. That really grated on my nerves. And the reason I feel this way, because anyone who wants to get out will. Where there is a will, there is a way. Do not let anyone discourage you and make you feel like, because you're not making enough money like what they think you should be earning, that you can't do it. Obviously you can, because the Pensionado program only requires you to show $1,000 a month to be able to get a residency there. If I listened to people like her, I would have never come to San Miguel, because they told me how expensive it is to live in San Miguel. And here I am in an apartment that I regret having to leave for $326 a month. But I would have never known that had I listened to people like that. So don't listen to anybody that tells you that. As a matter of fact, I think what I want to start doing is providing some consultations for people who want to get out and don't have any idea how they're going to do it, and you're living on a budget. I'll talk you through it. I'll charge a nominal fee. You guys know I want to make more money so I can, be able to do more for my life. So, if, a little bit, I'm not trying to get rich off of anybody, but yeah. I think I'm gonna put that into fruition. I'll ask you guys, my people, my community, you guys who are with me. Is that something you would want from me? And if it is something you would want, what do you think it's worth? I'm not trying to rape you. I'm not trying to get rich off of you. I wanna talk to you and do some counseling and help you put together a plan. Because where there is a will, there is a way. So I said all that, ADHD, I said all that to say this. Panama, I ruled Panama out because if she's representation of the community there, it's almost like the elitist type pompous black people. If that's the representation of the community there, I want no parts of it. As you can see, when you follow me, if you're looking at my stuff, I'm about having fun. I'm about love, peace, and soul. Like, if you can see that sign that says hippie on board, okay? I'm about where there's a will, there's a way, like things can happen. We can work together and make it happen. Let me tell you something. Somebody earning $1,000 a month could live in any of these countries, including Panama, quite comfortably. You just have to be creative and have some connections. And I can talk you through that. Be happy to do so. So that was that. So that's why I decided, for me, Panama is not going to work. So, but Costa Rica, I think that's going to be my next move. And then let me see how, why the creators say, okay, that, I think I covered just about everything. But yeah, I'm going to have to leave my Mexico. But I'll definitely always come back to visit. Oh, and another thing, the way I'm going to do it, I'm not going to necessarily take all of my things out of here yet. I am going to leave in May, but I'm going to continue to pay my rent here and keep my things here. The only thing I'm going to pack with me are, clothes that I think that I'll need for my scouting trip in Costa Rica, and things that are important. In the event that I try to come back to Mexico after that trip and I'm not let back in, which I don't see that as a possibility, but you never know. So if I have to lose anything, it'll be stuff that's insignificant. I'm not a big materialistic type person. In fact, I'm quite minimalistic. So if I lose my things, then I don't care. I have what's most important with me. But what I will do is, because I do have a community here, I am going to give somebody my key so that while I'm away, if I need them to ship something to me, like say I can't get back in and they're willing to ship, then I can have that done, If not, I'll just lose the stuff and keep it moving. But yeah, I'm not gonna just get rid of my apartment. There's been plenty of people who have, stayed in Mexico until their visa ran out, went someplace else, stayed for a minute, and then came back. So I can go out like that too. But it is crucial that I find my forever home. Even though I still want to travel all over the world, I do want a place that I can call my home. So that's where I'm at. That's the update. I know this is a long video, and I hope you guys listen to most of it, because I think it's a video that teaches, gives encouragement, and that's what I want to continue to do. I want to be that person who encourages you that you can be a woman 60 and over, and you can travel all over the world on a low income, on a budget. It can be done. So I guess that's it. If there's, please, put in the comments if you would like for me to do some consultation with you and help you map out a plan to live abroad. And I just thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment, because the algorithms are important. The more you guys engage, the more this information gets out to other people like us who want to be free. And we refuse to believe people when they say we can't do it, that we don't have the money, we're too old, we're not smart enough. We refuse to accept that reality. I want to speak to y'all. So thanks and good night.